The lonely road of the deep thinker. Have you ever felt that the deeper you think, the lonelier you become? That the more you understand the world, the more it seems people around you pull away? If you've experienced this, you're not imagining it. Society has always held an unspoken discomfort toward deep thinkers, not because they are wrong, but because they see truths others would rather avoid. From Socrates to Galileo, from Schopenhauer to Tesla, history is filled with examples of brilliant minds who were silenced, exiled, or ignored. Not because of a lack of intelligence, but because they disturbed the illusion of certainty society clings to. Their thoughts didn't simply challenge ideas, they challenged egos. And that, perhaps more than anything else, is what society resists. WW by Wiwaku Wek. The Mirror Effect. Why intelligence makes people uncomfortable. Psychologists call it the mirror effect. When you stand next to someone physically strong, you may admire them. When you see someone wealthy, you might feel envious, but not personally attacked. But when you encounter someone intellectually superior, someone who can articulate what you've never questioned, it feels different. It's not admiration, it's discomfort. Why? Because intelligence, unlike strength or wealth, challenges your identity. We define ourselves by our thoughts, beliefs, and worldviews. When a deep thinker questions or reinterprets what we take for granted, it feels like an attack, not on our ideas, but on who we are. Even in silence, a deep thinker's presence becomes a confrontation. Their very being reflects back the limitations of those around them. And in a world desperate for comfort and validation, most people do not forgive that easily. The biology of rejection. How intelligence triggers fear. Modern neuroscience confirms what philosophers like Schopenhauer suspected centuries ago. Intelligence can provoke fear. When someone feels intellectually outmatched, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, activates. The response is not rational, it's biological. Why such a strong reaction? Evolution offers an answer. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a group, not on understanding complex truths. Being outcast meant vulnerability, even death. Our brains evolved to prioritize social harmony over intellectual independence. So when a deep thinker enters the room, offering ideas that disrupt norms or question beliefs, the group reacts defensively. Not out of logic, but out of survival instinct. They don't just reject the thinker, they isolate them to preserve the social equilibrium. The social cost of thinking differently. This explains why deep thinkers often find more connection in one-on-one conversations than in group settings. A 2021 Stanford study showed that the feeling of being threatened by intelligence increases dramatically in groups. Why? Because people become more conscious of how others perceive them. When someone in the room is intellectually dominant, others instinctively try to protect their status, even if it means alienating the thinker. In social settings, confidence often trumps intelligence. People are more drawn to those who project certainty than those who offer nuance. This is why simple, charismatic communicators gain followers quickly, while deep thinkers struggle to distill complex insights into bite-sized messages. Why society favors simplicity over truth. Society's structure and deep thought. From the classroom to the workplace to social media, society is not structured to support deep thought. Schools reward memorization over questioning. Corporations favor conformity over innovation. And on social platforms, algorithms reward viral content, often shallow, emotionally charged, and sensational, over nuance and depth. This creates a hostile environment for deep thinkers. Not because their ideas are wrong, but because they are too right, too soon. Consider Galileo, Van Gogh, Tesla, Nietzsche, and Hypatia. All rejected in their lifetimes, only to be revered decades or centuries later. Their stories tell the same truth. Society doesn't fear intelligence itself. It fears the change intelligence brings. Schopenhauer's warning. Intelligence is a curse. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the most brutally honest philosophers in history, believed that intelligence was not a gift, but a curse. According to him, most people are driven by the will to live, seeking comfort, pleasure, and survival. But deep thinkers are often driven by the will to truth, an insatiable desire to understand reality, even if it causes pain. This creates an existential gap. Where most find joy in small talk, entertainment, or routine pleasures, the deep thinker seeks meaning and insight, often finding boredom or disillusionment instead. They don't crave escape, they crave clarity. And clarity, Schopenhauer argued, is a lonely road. He once wrote, "A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial." Why? Because the more you understand, the harder it becomes to relate. The deeper you see into human nature, the harder it is to tolerate deception, superficiality, or societal games. The paradox of the deep thinker. Society needs deep thinkers, yet it often punishes them. Intelligence provokes resistance. Truth invites hostility. And wisdom, unlike popularity, rarely trends. So what can deep thinkers do? 1. Embrace solitude, don't fear it. Solitude is not exile, it's a sanctuary. Use it to refine your ideas, create, write, build. Schopenhauer called solitude the privilege of the intelligent. 2. Choose your audience wisely. Not every place is ready for deep thoughts. Learn to recognize who's genuinely curious and who's just defending their comfort zone. Don't waste truth on ears that crave convenience. 3. Master the art of clear communication. Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Distill your ideas. Make them accessible without diluting them. 4. Find your tribe. History's greatest thinkers found connection through letters, books, salons, and small intellectual circles. In today's world, digital communities, podcasts, and long-form content can serve the same purpose. Conclusion. You are not alone. If you've ever felt misunderstood, ignored, or rejected for thinking deeply, know this: you are not broken. You are just early. The world may not be ready for your truth today. But that doesn't mean it never will be. As Schopenhauer said, talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Deep thinking is not easy. It demands courage, clarity, and solitude. But it is the seed of all progress. And while the crowd may laugh at what it doesn't understand today, it builds tomorrow on the backs of those it once ignored. So keep thinking, keep questioning, and know that while society may not always reward deep thinkers in their time, it eventually builds monuments to their ideas.